I'm Israel.
And I'm Dax.
And this is Valley View News Now.
Today we have school-wide events.
Commercial. Word on the street.
Okay. Commercial.
Word on the street.
And
Pedraza
talk about history. We hope you enjoy. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Jared. What's up? Why were you late?
I just had a track meet.
Oh, yeah? How was that?
Great. On the 28th, we'll be having districts at Nampa High School.
No way. Good luck.
Thanks. Don't you play tennis?
I don't, but my friends do, and there's about 8 more matches left.
Oh, that's awesome. But make sure our Falcons come and support our games.
Yeah, Jared's right. Come see your Falcons in action. That was school-wide events. We hope you enjoyed.
I'm Macy and I'm here with
Mr. Pedraza.
And the question today is there a teacher you want to give a shout out to for Teacher Appreciation Week?
Absolutely, Miss Miller, and congratulations on being Teacher of the Year here for VMS.
Thank you.
My name's Kenna and I'm here with Ella and Leslie. And we're wondering if there's, for Teacher Appreciation Day next week, if there's any teachers you want to give a shout out to.
Well, to Miss Post because she's a really good teacher and she's really nice.
Me, Miss Brown, because she's really nice and always makes the class fun.
Thank you.
Macy and I'm here with
Mrs. Hale.
And the question today is, since it's Teacher Appreciation Week next week, I was wondering if there's a teacher you'd like to give a shout out to.
I want to give a shout out to Miss Hediger for taking over the robotics program and running with it. And when I cover her class, sometimes when I sub for her class, the kids are always so engaged and really thinking through the challenges of creating these robots. And it's really fun to see, so I think she's doing a great job.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nayeli and I'm here with
Miss Bullard.
And the question for today is, next week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and what is a teacher that you would like to give a shout out to?
I'd like to give a shout out to my little sister Kay Bullard because she's been killing it teaching math these last few years. The kids really enjoy her class. She does a great job at teaching them, getting them prepared for the ISATs, and overall she has a very bubbly personality, and I think she's great, even though she's my little sister.
Okay, thank you.
My name's Kenna and I'm here with Miss Shane and Ellie. So for Teacher Appreciation Week, we were wondering if there was a coworker and a teacher that helps and encourages you and has just made the school better.
I want to shout out Mrs. Miller, our Teacher of the Year. She works really hard and she is dedicated and always helps her students, so she deserves to be recognized.
And I think Mrs. Mefford is really just fun. She helps me when I struggle, and I just like having her attitude around. So.
Thank you. My name's Kenna and I'm here with Kenna. And our question today is, since there's a Teacher Appreciation Week, what's a teacher that helps you succeed and encourages you?
I think Miss Miller helps me a lot because whenever I'm stuck on a question, she always helps me figure it out.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Hannah and I'm here with
Ellie.
And today's question is, do you have a certain teacher you'd like to shout out and why?
Definitely Miss McLean because she's just an amazing teacher. I love her teaching style and her class is just really peaceful and I've just always loved being there.
Thank you.
Of course.
Hi, I'm Alora and I'm here with
Miss Powers.
And our question for you is, do you have any shout outs you'd like to give to your fellow teachers?
I'm going to give a shout out to Mr. Pedraza. He's super helpful, making sure kids are staying up to date with their assignments in study hall, and he's really engaging you guys a lot in U.S. history this year.
Okay, thanks.
So today we thought we'd start the day with grubbing on some tacos. We ended up getting a DoorDash. I think today, go ahead, dig in. It looks like we have a little bit of I think these are from Del Taco.
Nice.
Comes with cheese. It comes with like a cheddar, like a sharp cheddar cheese.
Some meat too.
Looks like we have little bits and pieces of lettuce in there.
Yeah.
With that said, let us dive in. What kind of taco eaters are you? Do you guys need your hot sauce, or do you eat? Oh, it looks like Colton just went in.
Colton's already getting
Went
into
straight
it.
for the went for the original hot sauce. You know, I'm not feeling actually, I'm thinking hot.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a cheese joke, but it'd be a little too cheesy.
That's a good one.
In terms of the ground beef, what do you call a cow with no legs?
What?
Ground beef. Anyways, considering we have tacos, we thought we would also take advantage of this session and I don't know, talk about history.
Sounds good
What
to
do you
me.
say?
Yeah.
So on this edition, you know, there's a lot of misconceptions about. Actually, before I dive in, I brought us a bubbly. This is it's a sparkling bubbly water. It's sparkling flavored, but it also has hints of orange cream.
Oh. Doesn't even have any calories.
Orange, you glad I brought them?
This is sponsored by Bubbly, guys.
Yes. All right. But with that, you know, let's talk about some history.
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo, right, is one of the more famous of holidays here, especially here in the United States. But we thought we would talk about some of the misconceptions and really why Cinco de Mayo is as big of a holiday as it is. So with that, Hannah, is there any questions you'd like to ask me about Cinco de Mayo?
Well, is Cinco de Mayo Mexican Independence Day?
No, absolutely not. In fact, that's one of the bigger misconceptions regarding Cinco de Mayo. It is not Mexican Independence Day. In fact, repeat after me. Cinco de Mayo
Cinco de Mayo
is not
is not
Mexican Independence Day.
Mexican Independence Day.
Mexican Independence Day is on September 16th, if I'm not mistaken. What Cinco de Mayo is it commemorates a very famous battle that takes place between the Mexican army and the French army in May 5th, 1862. So what ends up happening is Mexico ends up owing France quite a bit of money. And as a result, France ends up sending forces to, say, invade Mexico until Mexico pays back some of its debts. And what ends up happening on Cinco de Mayo of 1862 is roughly 6,000 French troops end up making their way to the Mexican state of Puebla, right, which is in southern Mexico, where surprisingly, the Mexican troops made up of 2,000 rough-built soldiers end up defeating the French army, right? So it's because of that battle that Cinco de Mayo is commemorated, not only in the United States, but also Mexico as well. While Mexico wins the battle of Cinco de Mayo, unfortunately, Mexico ends up losing the war. And did you know that for a few years there, France ends up controlling Mexico and ends up putting a Austrian dude in charge by the name of Ferdinand Maximilian, and he will be the emperor of Mexico from 1864 to 1867. The lettuce is very, very fresh, very lettucey. You can taste the lettuce. If that makes any sense.
It's so good. I want to savor every moment and eat it for 5 hours.
Well, lettuce. Why not? In fact, let us wash it down with more of this bubbly.
Indeed.
And as we continue eating these tacos, what do you say we continue talking about Cinco de Mayo? Colton,
Yeah.
any other questions you might have?
Why is Cinco de Mayo celebrated widely here in the United States?
Well, I think Cinco de Mayo is celebrated for several reasons. One, the holiday Cinco de Mayo resonates very heavily amongst the Mexican American population that resides here in the United States. But Cinco de Mayo also, you know, is a yearly reminder of that relationship between the United States and Mexico. You know, while Mexico was dealing with a French invasion, while Mexico was dealing with an Austrian duke in charge of Mexico, the United States was dealing with its own civil war. Right, you might remember this from maybe sixth grade or elementary. You know, from 1861 to 1865, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president of the United States, was dealing with the Civil War. And one of the things that was concerning to Abraham Lincoln was a possible French alliance with the Southern Confederacy, right? And so as a result, Abraham Lincoln low-key ends up helping Mexican President Benito Juarez's defense against the French invasion. In fact, Abraham Lincoln and his wife were able to secure millions of dollars for the Mexican army to raise an army and help defend itself against the French invasion. Now, after the Civil War in 1865, the United States wasn't so busy, with its own Civil War, and that's when the United States was able to pay a little more close attention to what was going on in Mexico. The fact that we had a French presence here in Mexico was kind of a big red flag here for the United States. So the United States ends up pressuring France, using diplomacy, of course, ends up pressuring France to leave and evacuate Mexico. And France eventually does. By 1867, France had pulled out of Mexico, thanks to American help. Now, after France pulls out of Mexico in 1867, Mexican President Benito Juarez was able to retake the Mexican presidency. And really, Cinco de Mayo offers us a reminder of how close the Mexican president and the American president were. While the two never met, they had a lot in common. They were both lawyers. They both grew up, poor, and were able to make it to the top of their country's leadership. And Cinco de Mayo really offers us a reminder of that strong connection between the Mexican president, Juarez, and the American president, Lincoln. And it's because of this that if you visit parts of Mexico, cities such as Tijuana, Mexico City, and I believe the city of Juarez, Mexico, you will find a statue of Abraham Lincoln, and vice versa. If you go to places like New Orleans, Chicago, Fresno, and Washington, D.C., you might find statues of the Mexican president, Benito Juarez, and that really shows us that strong diplomatic relationship between the two countries. Colton, looks like you're out here. Why don't you have another one? Is that open for you? Still working on yours, Hannah?
Yeah.
And that hot sauce is hot. I think that's why it says hot on the little thing, because it's actually pretty hot.
It must be hot in the sun.
It's hot. That's pretty busting, isn't it?
Good stuff.
That's good stuff. Of course, we wash it down with our bubbly. It's a sparkling water flavored orange. It's like an orange. It's like an orange and cream flavored water.
All this eating kind of makes me come up with another question.
Hit me.
Let's
taco about history.
Yeah, let's do it. How can we celebrate Cinco de Mayo?
I think for one, sometimes simply knowing the history is an important part of celebration. And really the small fact of understanding that Cinco de Mayo is not Mexican Independence Day is a great place to start. So again, with that, repeat after me. Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo
is not
Mexican
Independence Day.
Mexican Independence Day.
That would be September 16th, right? But another way to celebrate it is of course, food. Right, tacos are a great place to start, and looks like we've dug in quite well into our tacos here. Taco about deliciousness. But if you're really interested, find your favorite local Mexican restaurant, and I recommend Mole Poblano. Considering the Battle of Cinco de Mayo takes place in Puebla, Puebla is known for its mole, which is basically it's a thick, rich, like savory sauce that is made up of more than 20 ingredients, mostly different types of chilies. Peppers such as ancho and chile pasilla, but that sauce is typically served over chicken or turkey, right? So if you really want to get into the spirit of Cinco de Mayo, I recommend either tacos or mole poblano. With that, thanks for joining us for this edition of Taco About History.
And that is this week's edition of Valley View News Now. We hope you enjoyed.